What's up, you guys? My name is PureUnstable, and today we're going to be doing another episode of the Java data types. Today we're going to be talking about characters. From here, as I explained in the last episode in the integers, in order to get Eclipse, which is what we're going to be using throughout this tutorial, you just go into your web browser, go to eclipse.org, which I'll link in the description. You just want to go to try the Eclipse installer, which I got wrong in the last episode, and I apologize. From here, you just want to determine if you have a 32-bit operating system or 64-bit if you have Windows. If not, you can go in here to Linux or Mac to choose that. If you don't know what operating system you have, if you are on Windows, right-click on your Start menu, and then go to System. And once this loads up on here, it'll tell you I have a 64-bit operating system, so I would get the 64-bit Eclipse installer. I've already downloaded it. I already have it running. If you don't have it yet, take a second, pause the video, just download it. It'll be quick. You just run it through the setup. You just do normal setup instructions for that, and you should be all set to go. From here, you wanna if you have not already made a project, right-click, new Java project, make a project. Shall I walk through it for a second? And here you want to give it a name. Usually start with uppercase letters, as I have over here. And then you just want to create separate folders for source and class files. You want to make yourself, under the source file, just a package, and then your first class. This one was going to be characters. Let's make a new class. Let's name it character. You want to check the public static void main string arguments right here. This is just going to allow you to print to the console from the class that we're currently using. And just hit finish. And here, you just get rid of the to-do automatically generated sub. It's not really used for anything. It's just a comment anyway. And now we can start getting on with the programming. So this episode is about characters. So like I said in the last episode, in order to make a variable of any sort, be it character, integer, really anything, you have to give it some kind of data type. And for this one, it's going to be a character, so which is just char, car is what I say. You want to give it a name, so name this character 1, and then semicolons end that line. I'll make a second variable, car, I can type, character 2. I'm going to set this equal to, and for characters you use a single quotation mark. Set equal to B, which is the second letter of the alphabet for character 2. And then for these, I could type. The single quotation marks does denote a character, and that's how the Java program will read it. If you use double quotation marks, it registers as a string. So technically, this is a valid string. This is not a character because it has a lot of characters inside of it, so it's not allowed to be a character. If you try to do it with the double quotation marks, it's going to give you a little right on the line and say, can I convert from type string to character? So just go ahead, just leave those as the single quotation marks, and we'll be good with that. You can do standard, you can make character 1 equal to character 2, and this is just going to print B, and I'll show that here. So system.out, and again this is registering that this computer is registered as system.out, and it's registering you're going to be doing an output of some sort to some device, and you want to print line. You just want to tell it to print character 1. So it's just going to print out character 1, which is literally just going to put B on the screen. You can also do standard, you can apply standard operators to characters. So what that means is, for instance, character 1 equals character 2 plus 1. What this is actually going to print out is, oops, what happened here? So I had the cast. This is going to be a static cast. This is just going to convert this other part here, since it is technically adding a integer value to a character value. You just need to tell it which one it's going to be saving as. Oops, not character 0. Just want to tell it to save as a character, and that's going to be saving to the character 1. And all this is going to be is just C. Since you're adding 1 to B, you're just taking in the next level of the ASCII table. I'm going to bring that up for you. That's the wrong browser. Right here, the ASCII table. All decimal values are going to be what the Java compiler is going to read as the characters. So for instance, B is denoted as 98. So adding 1 to 98 so it can take it to 99, which is going to read out as C. What that also means is that you can subtract from here. So I'm just going to do another system out, just to show you that it is going to be that's going to print out as C. Well, I should just run that now, just to verify. That'll pop up down here, B and C. So from here you can actually do different stuff like if you want to switch cases, it's actually just a difference of 32 within the decimals. So if you're going from, let's say, C at 99, subtract 32, you're going to take it to 67. So try that now. Character 1 minus equals 32. As said in the last episode, this is just going to take character 1. That's just reading it as character 1 equals character 1 minus the number 32, which is going to equal C. So that's going to print out C right there. We'll save this and run it as well. There you go, capital C. There isn't too much else to be done with characters. You can do things like, well, that's more higher level stuff, but I'll just give you a glimpse. If you make a character array, it acts as a string. Just denote it like this, is equal to new car10, and what we'll do is I'm just going to do a higher level thing here just to show you what character arrays can do. If you make a for loop, which is done as, I'm not going to explain it all right now, I'll do that in a later episode, but this is going to be the glimpse of it. What this is reading as for, you make an integer, or you can use a preset counter, which is also an integer. You want to have an integer, you want to have it set to a value, and then you want to test for, is that value less than a cutoff number? In my case, it's going to be 10, which is the same number as the characters in the array. And then after it runs through the loop, it's going to add 1 to the counter I, and it's going to run it through this test again. It's going to see if it's less than 10, and for every time it will go through, it will keep adding 1 until it does hit 10. Now be sure you don't do something like this. I'm sorry. Be sure you don't do something like this. If you're setting I to equal 0, and if I has to be greater than 10 to cut off, and you're constantly subtracting, you can get a never-ending loop, and that is not good to have. So just keep it as plus plus. Not that you could be doing this in your programming, but just a glimpse for it. So in here you want to do array I is equal to, let's give a preset, character 1 plus, I'll do I. Well, here that's going to ask for the static cast again. I'll just add that on. And then I'll do a print line for this. I'll save it. So what this did was, as I was saying before, it's going to start I at 0, and until I hits 10, it's going to keep running through the loop. So character array I, what this is reading as character array, all arrays will start at value 0. It's going to be the first position. That may sound confusing, but in the programming world, 0 is equal to 1 in terms of position. So it's going to start at position 0. That's noted here in I equals 0. So at the first position in the loop, it's going to take character 1, which is set to C right here, and it's going to add I to it. So that means that in the first loop, I is going to equal 0, so it's going to take C plus 0, which is still C, because you're not adding anything to it. And it's going to put that to character array I position, which is the first value, so it's going to equal C. The second time it'll go through the loop, since it's still not, since I is not equal 10, I is going to equal 1, so character array position I is equal to character 1, which is still C, plus 1, since that's what I equals now, and that's going to append as a character to character array position I, so that's going to be D, so on and so forth until you hit the 10th value in the loop. And from there, as we can count, so position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and position 9. So all 10 positions are filled up from the loop, and then it'll cut off because the loop is over. These can be read as strings within programs. A string is literally just a block of code. Like I said, a string could be anywhere from just random letters to a hello world statement, which is a standard in programming. It can be anything, spaces, punctuation, numbers, letters, whatever you want. It can all fit inside the double quotes, and that can be a string. Strings have virtually endless amount of storage inside of them, so you can put whatever you want inside of it, and it will always be there for you to print out later. Character arrays are just an array of characters. So in this term, it's a array of 10 characters. So it's going to string 10 letters together for you to use. That pretty much wraps up characters and character arrays for the basics. This is a little bit higher depth here, but just an overview for later for what you can do with characters. So that's just a glimpse of it. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like if you did. There'll be more episodes out in the future for data types, and I'll see you guys then.